Dude, how did they get this bokeh?
I know, this looks so fake.
It looks insane.
Yeah, I just keep looking at this going, we're being pranked right now. Like, they have taken a blurry picture of Christmas tree lights,
yep.
and they just photoshopped it behind pictures of these two people. Hey guys, welcome to the next Critique the Community. Today we're gonna be critiquing images of beautiful bokeh, shallow depth of field. If you would like to be a part of the next critique, the genre is?
We're gonna be doing colorful. So that could mean artificial light, it could be natural, we're in fall seasons, maybe fall colors. You like to take crazy portraits with all the RGB lights and everything. So anything that's just massively colorful will qualify.
You can check that out at fstoppers.com/contests, and it's 100% free to join. We will talk about what you can win in that contest coming up. Let's go ahead and get into this critique right now.
So our first image is an interesting portrait. This has some blurriness that doesn't look supernatural like you'd get with a normal lens.
Yeah. Do you know how this was made?
I glanced at it because I picked these images, but a lot of these effects are with lenses that I'm not familiar with. So you can inform the audience how this was done, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. It's Canon 50mm 1.8, so that's like one of the cheapest lenses money can buy. And an IQ Japan wide angle / tele adapter, which I found in my uncle's attic some years ago. Buying these both used today would not even set you back $100. Wow.
So this is some adapter that fits between the camera and the lens, and I assume allows you to tilt or do something to the lens to...
I don't know, but I mean, I love the way it looks, and it's kind of hard for me to understand even what's going on here. How is she not distorted, but that background is that distorted?
This is where we need Alex Cook, who is a writer for Fstoppers, who has a master's degree in physics and does photography. So he
I think it's math, right?
He would be able to tell us that, like, oh, like the blades are shaped in a way that causes this circular motion. I don't really know, but it's a cool effect. Are you ready to rate this?
I guess. 3, 2, 1.
I'm between a 3 and a 4.
I'm in between a 3 and a 4 as well, but I feel like this has the potential to be a 5.
Yep.
And here are some issues that I have with it. I feel like this girl looks fantastic. Lighting on her is great. Fantastic facial expression. Her hair is a little frizzy, but I can look past that. The necklace is a little strange to me. It kind of feels like it's on backwards or something, you know, like it's flipped around backwards. Maybe that's just what it's supposed to look like, but my eye keeps going to it and it's driving me a little nuts. The bokeh in the top looks incredible to me. I love it. But then I just keep feeling like those are parked cars behind her, and it just kills it for me.
I keep thinking, you know, you don't want to shoot up on people usually for a headshot. Like if you have a long lens, sometimes you can get low and shoot up and it doesn't really show the double chin and everything. But at this focal length, I wonder if like getting low would cause problems. But I kind of want to have that bokeh pulled down.
Yes.
And I want maybe like a tighter crop. But cropping this photo would obviously crop out all of the blurriness that we like. So I feel like there's some game of like trying to get your subject higher in the frame. The necklace is strange because on one side it's like pearls, but then on the other side it's like a Taylor Swift like pre-made, homemade like jewelry or something.
You know what type of jewelry Taylor Swift wears, huh?
I do, only because my wife's obsessed with Taylor Swift. So
even if my wife liked the type of music, I don't know that I would know the jewelry that the artist wears. It seems like you might like them too.
No, it's just a thing where they make these all the kids make these wristbands, and it's like her thing.
Okay.
So I don't know, like I don't know if that bothers me, but I see what you're saying. The clasp is up front, which seems a little strange, but it does make me wonder what the transition is between the beads.
Yes.
Is that like maybe there's a medallion or something that looks really nice, but
Miley Cyrus does it like this.
Yeah. And you're right, the hair, like, you'd want to clean that up. Have you used the Photo software that does like...
I have not, but I remember watching a review video that you were doing. You were comparing all these different, is it AI?
Yeah, I mean,
software?
It's using AI to clean up stuff. I don't know how well it would do this, but maybe you could fix all the stray hairs and get it to look a little bit cleaner.
Not to keep talking about this one image here, but one thing that Peter Hurley is big on is like forehead forward towards the camera. And this girl obviously has like a great jawline. She doesn't have the double chin at all. Like you can see I have right here. But her head is pulled back kind of awkwardly, and it's still working for me, but I do wonder if she brought that forehead forward just the littlest bit, would it be better?
Give a little energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Same with the shoulders. It's like she is as straight on as possible, which sometimes with those headshots, you get people doing all this stuff too much, and you kind of need that tight crop to kind of make it feel like you're not staring at somebody in a weird pose. But this is just very straight on. That smirk, though, you know.
She looks great. Yeah, eyes and mouth look fantastic. And the lighting looks so good, too. And I guess it's just natural lighting, but you can see that catch light in one of her eyes. It looks great.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
So I'm going to warn you and our viewers that for some reason with bokeh or blurriness, a lot of images were wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think that there would have been more portraits and product shots and stuff like that, but no.
I'm not seeing any bokeh in this image. What? Like, this doesn't seem to be following directions to me.
I mean, I think the animals are out of focus.
Oh my gosh!
You don't think that counts?
I don't.
I don't. Well,
I mean, I would say this is fairly deep depth of field. Like, I feel like this could have been shot on an iPhone.
Well, I let it slide through, and I like this image.
I like it. Okay.
Just seemed like an interesting composition, and it wasn't super telephoto, which
yes.
Maybe you could argue that, you know, some of those faster lenses, those like 28s and 35 millimeter they make like 1.4s.
Mm-hmm.
Those, you know.
Well, that's what this was taken on. 35 millimeter 1.4 at 1.4.
Well, there you go. So this fits the conversation that we need to have about shooting wide open with, you know, different focal lengths. Because a lot of the images are all super telephoto.
Did you see the horse picture I got with my new super telephoto video that I did?
By my house?
I have it on my frame TV downstairs. Yeah, it's behind your house.
I didn't see it.
I love this picture of this horse.
Is there a lot of depth of field?
It's pretty shallow.
You zoom really far away, right?
I was holding either a 600 or an 800 millimeter lens, and I saw a horse through a bush, but I couldn't shoot it without shooting through the bush. So I tilted the screen down and held this lens up over my head. And, you know, this lens is like this. And I'm just spraying and praying. And then I get back and I look at it. I'm like, this looks awesome. I made it black and white. And like I said, it's on one of my frame TV downstairs. And it's one of my favorite animal pictures I've ever taken.
I don't know that I've seen that specific image, but.
The question is my horse picture better or is this horse picture better? So we'll have to see in the comments.
So this image, like, I'm a little scared of horses.
Okay.
Like, we have these horses that run behind my house, and I started running my dog back there. It's like, I get on the scooter, and we just fly down to the golf course. It's great, right? Saves me a lot of time. But the horses come up, and the horses here are, like, doing the little and sometimes I'll see them, and I'll be like, man, if Gibson runs up to him, like, he's going to get killed, right? So I'll let him pass. But then they take, like, 10 minutes, and I'm like, just let the horse run like normal. They're like,
oh, you're saying people are riding them?
Yeah, okay. And I'm thinking like I should have just gone ahead because it's like the slowest moving thing ever. But I'm always worried that one of those horses is going to get out from the fenced-in area where your photo was taken, and like run over my dog or something. So seeing, because I've seen those videos where like they get kicked in the, you know, somebody's behind them and they get kicked,
kill somebody.
So when I saw this image, I'm like, did somebody just go up to these wild horses with, like you said, an iPhone or some wide-angle lens and stand right in the middle and not worry about getting injured in a foreign land with very little medical, you know, help? I don't know,
this was in Iceland. Okay.
This seems very dangerous to me, but maybe if you're...
Well, when we were in Vieques, it's an island off of Puerto Rico here. I don't know if maybe you weren't with us, but there's wild horses all over, and you can kind of just walk up to them, and some of them are nice, some of them are not, and sometimes they'll eat out of your hand, and sometimes they'll kind of attack you.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of similar thing.
Yeah. Because I've always wanted to do a photo shoot here with like somebody on the horse, like a crazy dress or something, but I'm always like, it seems like too high of a risk. If they fall off or something happens.
You just got to do it of somebody who owns the horse, so it's on them if it freaks out. All right, let's rate it. 3, 2, 1. 3 stars. I like it. I feel like I wanna recover some of the shadows in the bottom half of this. I don't know. It feels a little unprocessed to me. A little too bland.
I just feel like this is one of those images you would see on the front of CNN when they're talking about, like, you know, I don't know what the story would be, but it's like, you know, the tariffs that they're adding on U.S. visitors to Iceland, and it's like a picture like this, and you're like, oh, that's like a cool image that would get my attention. That's not too over the top. It's not aimed just for photographers, But maybe if you processed it a little bit more like you're suggesting, you could make it look like something in a photographer's portfolio.
Yeah.
But if you left it a little more flat like this, it kind of fits, a more editorial look too.
Yesterday, I saw an interesting headline. It said something like, truckload of aggressive monkeys crashes releasing COVID and herpes infected monkeys into the public.
What country was this?
It was like Florida. I think it was in Florida. No. And I'm like, why do all the monkeys have COVID? Like herpes, okay.
Like active COVID? Do we still have COVID?
I don't think so. I mean, they were acting like you're going to catch COVID and herpes at the same time from these aggressive monkeys.
And in Florida, you never know what those people are doing with the monkeys.
That's true.
All right, let's move on. So this next image is one of the highest rated images. It may be the highest depending on how many votes you count in. Sometimes people like to mess with the
I don't think
voting
it's,
scale
they're
here.
not, I mean, some people try to mess, but a lot of it just comes down to,
How late it's submitted into
yeah,
the
if you
deadline.
submit it late and you get 1 5-star rating, then
Yeah.
you have a 5-star image. But guys, we're not going by the rating. Everybody gets so upset with
I was actually thinking of not including the top rated image just so that people playing the games are like, I got to get highly rated, but not too highly rated. But I did like this image. So
We used to show the community. We haven't talked about community rating in months now. Maybe
Yes.
that's why people aren't quite as outraged as they used to be.
no, they're still pretty outraged. But
Now, I love this color background, but this is fake, right? They have turned the green blue, right?
probably that would make sense. But I don't know that the elements of it, the depth of field is necessarily faked.
Correct.
So this image, I feel like, works 100% because of the color palette. Like, I don't know that the ladybug is like super beautiful and something you'd want to look at all the time because it's sideways. It kind of looks like a gross insect. And the single blade of grass and everything, like nothing about this is like, whoa, like so over the top. But I think because it's so simplified and it looks futuristic, it almost looks like a movie poster for some
It's
like...
because of the color shift. And he
Yeah.
does say that he did it in Lightroom afterwards, desaturated and changed the green tone. I truly believe if this was just a normal green background,
They would lose
we
everything.
would just ignore this image so much. And normally I hate when people do the selective color changing and, you know, selective black and white. It looks so cheesy, but something about this,
It's not
working.
100%. It's like the desaturated look is 70%, but it leaves just enough there. And like that little bit of dew and sparkle and that
Yeah,
water
yeah,
drop,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it adds something that's just... you would never plan for this, you know? If you were doing this in the studio, at least I wouldn't say, hey, get the pipette and put the water droplet there. But when it happens naturally, it's like the perfect break in that blade of grass.
yeah. All this being said, I do really like it, but is it cheesy to change the color of a background on a nature photo?
I don't think so.
No, is, you know, like you could take any picture you want of a landscape and then you could just Photoshop like a sunrise
Well, people
sky
do
on
this.
that.
And the joke that Elias says is that everyone tries to make their sunsets magenta. Like, that's the color you want. I've definitely, like, when I was shooting a lot of family portraits and stuff, I would constantly go in and do, like, the green and make it more orange, especially if it's in the fall, because Charleston would never have fall colors. And so, like, I could kind of manipulate the color palette, and especially now with the AI auto-select in Lightroom. I don't know that I would never go this far. Like, this is like making fine art or something. You're doing a very heavy-handed color scheme. But changing the greens to make them more yellow or more magenta or something and giving it just a different feel. Because what I would hate is people would be in these brown, earthy, skin-toned colors for a portrait session. And then the colors in the background would be like puke green. And it would clash. But if you could make those greens go a little bit more like yellow or brown, you know, it could make the colors on the clothing really come together. So I'm not against any of that, but sounds like you may not like this image all that much.
No, it's eye-catching, but then when you start to realize, oh, it's eye-catching because it's just faked in Photoshop, you know, it just starts to kind of 3, 2, 1.
I'm like a 3.
3 stars is a solid image. I like it.
Speaking of that, I feel like that last image looked very AI-ish.
Yes.
I have been following this Hurricane Melissa, because it just has been, I think, one of the strongest hurricanes ever documented.
Oh yeah, I heard like top 3 ever recorded
Like
or
the
something.
pressure and then like the height of it and then the inside temperature was like so cold that it's just one of the most powerful storms ever.
Okay.
And it just hit where my wife's family is from in Jamaica, like dead on. So a year ago we had category 4 that kind of skirted it and it was catastrophic. This just plowed right into it. I have to imagine the video footage I'm seeing is even more catastrophic. But the difference between a year ago and today is the number of AI videos coming out showing like people doing the dumbest stuff in a hurricane and even images that are representing thumbnails of the hurricane. It's like so frustrating to see this stuff passed around.
And people think it's real.
You think it's real or you're like, it just makes me question everything. I'll see like the Sandals Hotel and I'm like, is this real?
Yeah,
See the airport and I'm like, I'm being told the airport's destroyed, but is this video I'm seeing real?
Yeah.
And it's just I'm getting a very different vibe today than I did a year ago comparing these two storms. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of depressing me. Like the storm's depressing me, but then also the idea that like, we're not going to be able to know anything that's true. It's just
Yeah, I mean, I know.
And like, it's not even just a photographic like art project now. It's like the entire world. Like the news that you bring in now, no idea if it's real.
There's some ad that I think Canada just put out with Reagan talking about tariffs.
I haven't watched it, but
So I watched it.
it's real, right?
I don't know. I'm watching it and I'm like, it feels a little AI,
Okay.
but I'm like, maybe, I don't know. And you know, I've given my boomer parents crap for years of like getting tricked by all the, you know, like fake articles on Facebook and now I'm like, I don't know. And I haven't, I could easily go down the rabbit hole and like figure it out if it's real or not.
Sure.
All I know is that I watched the video and I'm like, it kind of feels a little fake. And then I read that video was produced by Canada. So I'm like, well, that makes it sound like it's real. And then I saw a clip of Trump saying Canada made a fake ad about, was it Reagan?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't trust what he says. So I still don't know to this day if it was real or not.
You have to do so much investigating to figure that out, and it's one little thing that doesn't matter in your life.
Right.
Who cares?
So usually I care. Usually I care about all that stuff. I'm like, I got to figure out the truth, like aliens or dinosaurs, or like, I got to figure it out right now. I'm dropping everything. I'm not going to do any more work until I figure out if this Reagan video is real. For some reason with this one, I was just like, I don't have time.
Gosh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the AI stuff it's fun for us as content creators because it's allowing us to do so much, but I feel like it's destroying society. Like I don't know any way around this. We're not going to ban it. We're not going to like be able to regulate it. Even when it says this is an AI created image, I feel like it's still being passed around by so many people that they're treating it as if it's not.
Yeah, because a lot of the fake stuff that's coming out right now is made by Sora, and it's like free and easy, and everybody's doing it. And so the little logo for Sora will come up, which could easily be cropped out.
That's unreal. The eye is completely clear.
Copy. It's lining up with the coast now. Looks like landfall's imminent.
Hard to believe something that beautiful can be that destructive.
But my parents don't know what Sora is.
Yeah. So
So they would see that and it would be meaningless to them. They'd be like, that's real.
They're gonna have to shut the hotel down. We'll never forget this one. Wow.
Previously, I would blame them and go, come on, stop being so gullible. And now I'm watching these videos and I'm like, I can't tell a difference.
Because a year ago, what it used to be was a lot of clips of other hurricanes, and you start watching it, and you're like, that's not Charleston. That's not Jamaica. They don't have high rises. And you can kind of figure it out because somebody's just compiling a bunch of videos to get a ton of views to release it right when you want that content.
Yeah.
But now it's moved even from that to it's just like a lot of AI content. You're like, I have no idea. And it's like, it'll just be like river, like water flowing, and somebody's, oh my God. And you're like, that would be the easiest content to make, but it seems believable. I don't know. It's so frustrating. And we have to deal with it here with photography, Was the first image of the girl AI? He said it wasn't, but...
I don't know anymore. It's too good. All right, so this image by Jamie Davis. Ooh, taken with the Nikon 18 to 300 millimeter, all in one lens, which brings up
f6.9,
6.3, which is probably wide open at that lens.
Yeah.
We can talk about the prize for the next contest, which is free to join, by the way.
This is the Tamron 25 to 200 millimeter.
Second place is going to get a copy of AC/DC's Photo Studio Ultimate. And third place is going to get a free tutorial from the Fstoppers store. You can check it all out at fstoppers.com/store. Yeah, so I currently have, in that box right over there, I've got 4 all-in-one lenses that I did one standalone review about a month ago. And then I said, these lenses are better than I thought they were. Send me all, like everyone that's on the market for Sony. And then Tamron just reached out and said, hey, we want to give this for a contest. Do you want to review it? And I said, yeah, I'll review it with all the other ones too. And these all-in-one lenses, I used to just write them off as like, they're not sharp. They're going to have problems with vignetting. They're not fast. They've got variable apertures. The second you zoom in, they're going to stop down. You're not going to get shallow depth of field. And then I started using one. I can't remember which one I was using, but the images out of it look great. And like, you can get shallow depth of field. And what's also crazy is the minimum focusing distance on a lot of these all-in-one lenses is nuts. They're like macro lenses and they're cheap and they can do it all and they can do stuff like this. So I think I was being a little unfair to this genre of lenses in the past. They are better and more convenient than I thought. That being said, I don't really like this image. It feels like a snapshot with higher end gear to me. Like obviously not taken on a phone, but I don't like the background. Like I want them to move up and shoot down a little. I don't like the fact that you can see the white around the top edge.
Really? I kind of like I mean, you're saying you want it all green?
Yeah.
I feel like...
Or all blue or something. I don't know. I just feel like it feels like a mistake like this.
I don't know. I kind of like the white. Maybe I would even like it to go completely white to where like the top is pure white and it's, you see beyond this. Because this, what do you think they're shooting at? Like they're shooting past a bush in that sky?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah. It's interesting, but we have both seen world-class macro insect photography that is mind-blowing.
Yeah, this is not
This is just a random picture.
I don't know if you're about to rate this, but like I don't feel like it's that bad.
I don't feel like this should be in a professional photographer's portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, that's always our criteria, and a lot of people get upset about that, what does that mean? I keep going back to like some of the messiness of the web. I love this line coming down. He's suspended in a really cool way. Is it unethical to remove all the mess that's like
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of an interesting aspect of it to me.
Yeah. I like the backlit nature where like there's the highlights on the legs.
What do you think about the depth of field? Do you feel like he should have stopped down more and gotten the entire spider?
So I just released this video that's causing people to like question everything that I know about photography because they fall on one side of it. They're like they love full frame cameras or they love medium format cameras. And those fan bases are so divided that they usually hate each other, it feels like. And the question that I had is the more depth of field, the less depth of field you have, the shallower and the more blurry of a background, you're naturally going to have less depth of field in your subject matter. And shooting with a lot of landscape photographers, they all stop down to f8 because they want detail everywhere, right?
They might even focus stack.
Yeah, and so I think focus stacking is the answer for something like this because you can get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just kind of weird when you get really creamy, blurry backgrounds, but then the legs, the things closest to the camera are still out of focus because your depth of field is so shallow.
Yeah.
And focus stacking would allow you to have the best of both worlds. You could just brush in the legs and have this entire spider nice and sharp while maintaining the blurriness.
Yep.
But I think I do want more depth of field. I don't know that I need more depth of field in the background, but I want more depth of field on the insect.
I agree. Let's rate it. 3, 2, 1. 2, so 3, it should be in a professional photographer's portfolio.
Yeah, I think like it could be replaced eventually, but I don't think this is like that bad of an image.
It's just not a professional image, that's all. I'm not saying it's bad.
It needs work. This isn't a snapshot.
So that's 2.
No, I'm saying that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
How would it, could you crop it?
Listen.
Could you AI fill and make it the whole thing green and then it's?
I don't know. Listen, I just took pictures for weeks of animals. I took potentially tens of thousands of images. And I walked away with
30?
I would say less, like probably 20 that I'm like, these are 20 really good images. And then printable, 5.
But you have 20 printed, so did you print a lot of images that you didn't like yourself?
Yeah, my wife did that. Okay. She got access to my
files, and
she printed them without asking me. Yeah, exactly. I don't like what she printed there, and she doesn't have the new ones. So anyway, my point is like, just because you took a picture of something, an animal, an insect, a person, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a portfolio piece. That's all. I'm not saying the photographer did a bad job or whatever. I'm just saying, I don't think this should be on a professional photographer's website.
It's funny because I just took thousands of images of pickleball players, and one of our friends who's a pickleball player, he's like, oh, these are amazing. Like, they'll work for his marketing strategy. But I'm looking at it and like, man, I don't like any of these. And it's because the way they're dressed, or it's the grain, or it's the color of the light. It's like the action.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I took 4,500 images, and I'm like, there's really none that I would put in my portfolio. But all right, so I have changed up this critique a little bit here. This image here, which I think is a beautiful shot of a puffin, I assume this is going to be like in Ireland or Iceland or something, maybe Alaska. We had puffins when I lived up there. But there were so many pictures of puffins in this critique that I thought, let me just throw a couple other honorable mentions next to it so that we can look at something like crazy framing with wildly blurry backgrounds. This image here that I'm showing, this feels like one of those cheaper lenses where the depth of field is, the aperture is shot at like f6.3 for some reason. I don't know why, but this...
Did you read about it?
I have not. And then we have an image here that's got maybe a blurry background, but it's shot wider with a lot more depth of field. And then we have this image here that is like, the puffin is framed up through the blurry bokeh, which is a unique effect, but I don't know that it's working as well for me. So I don't know how you want to, if you want to look at all four of these individually, or just I can scroll through them here so the viewers can see what we're talking about. I guess the question that I had doing this was, photographers are obsessed at shooting at long focal lengths and getting super blurry backgrounds, but in some ways, maybe I kind of like the wider angle shot of the bird. Like if I was to print something, maybe I would like this on my wall more than even the one I'm selecting. This one's beautiful too, but what are your thoughts on this?
So I don't think there's any doubt that this one by Stan Bisci is my favorite. My second favorite would be that one that you just showed, but I don't know. This kind of feels snapshotty to me.
Okay.
Like it's too shallow of a depth of field to be shot on a phone, but it just doesn't, like the lighting's not that good. I don't know. This one through the grass has potential. Potentially, I would like this in black and white, but it's weird to me that this white bird is green and yellow. So this feels like a mistake.
Also shot by Stan.
Oh, so same guy, same photographer. Funny, okay. And then my least favorite is probably this one, and I don't know what's going on here. It's like the bird is in shadow, and the photographer selected the subject and just raised up the shadow, but then didn't change the white balance. So we're getting like a blue shift on the bird and then this nice warm background. And then the composition's very strange to me too. All he says is shot on the D810 at 200 millimeters. So I'm not exactly sure what lens that is or what, but it also doesn't feel that sharp. It feels like you said, it was either taken with a cheap lens or it was heavily underexposed and then recovered in post. Something about it doesn't feel natural to me.
I think my biggest critique is just the composition. It just feels so unbalanced and weird. But the frustrating thing about this image, and I'm sorry for the photographer who took this, but I could see this image printed in some gift shop, and this is the one that sells thousands of copies.
Why do you say that?
I don't know, because I've just seen these type of stores. We have one in Charleston on King Street, and it's like this super saturated looking thing, and you're like, this photography is not good. But tourists, for some reason, when faced with all of these, like maybe they're not even faced with all these. Maybe this guy just has the money to get this in the store and become like the postcard. But I could see this being the one that's like on the book cover, or this is the one on the postcard, or
because it's more vibrant.
Right. And again, I think the cropping is still a little strange. I almost want to see this vertical or something. The other image that Stan has taken, I think you could just select the bird and play with the color balance tool, where you could pull out different hues from the highlights, shadows, and midtones, and make the bird look cleaner. This is one where maybe I would bring these warm tones to a green and try to get the blues back in. I feel like it's salvageable in edit, but I think this image of the 4 is like third place. It's towards the bottom end. This is my second favorite.
Okay. I mean, it's still bad. Bad. Acceptable. Even this is not great. This image is, I feel like this could be enhanced in post. I mean, the most magical feature that I am now using on every picture I take, subject select in Lightroom. I do subject select in Lightroom. I get the subject, in this case the bird, looking perfect, and then you duplicate and invert mask, and now you are affecting the background, and you can just edit them independently from one another, and you can make it look like you have professional studio lighting on these animals that you take pictures of outside.
Not only that, but you can do things that studio lighting wouldn't do, is you can change the tone and the color of the background separately than the foreground.
Right, it's unbelievable.
Okay, so let's rate this image, because this we feel like is the strongest one, and it's the highest rated of the 4 in the community.
3, 2, 1.
Dude, I'm gonna give like all threes.
I'm gonna give it a 3, but this is easily a 4 with some Lightroom editing. I feel like you brighten up the bird, add a little bit of vibrance to it, maybe a little bit of contrast to that foreground and background, and I think it'll look a little bit more like a finished image.
Do you like, since we're talking about bokeh, do you like that there's still so many layers of bokeh going on?
I do.
Would you prefer this bird to be perched up higher, and he's like, what a lot of landscape bird photographers do is they isolate it 100%. And it's just this like blurry canvas with this perfectly sitting.
That's cool too, but I really like the detail in the grass. I like that you've got the pure bokeh balls in the grass, and then you can actually see through the grass to where we get some detail when it's on the same plane as the bird. I think it's cool.
Yeah. All right, so this next image, I don't know, I think this was the lowest rated mushroom shot from this photographer, and I feel like I needed to include one because there's another image that's higher rated, but you can probably tell by my tone of voice that I'm not like super thrilled with the mushroom shots. We had somebody who worked for Fstoppers who's super into mushrooms.
Yeah.
And she would love this stuff and like make little scenes with it. And I'm like, I don't get the mushroom thing.
The other interesting thing, and I'm reading what he did here, I'm not seeing anything about a flash, which is very strange, but I've seen a bunch of pictures of lit mushrooms from the bottom, like their caps are glowing and the caps are like dropping light down onto the bed below them. And it kind of feels like that's what's going on here a little bit. On the other hand, it doesn't feel like that. So I'm trying to figure out like, where is this light source coming from?
He does mention that he has lit this, right?
The mushroom itself was lit separately, allowing me to isolate it from the background while maintaining a natural look. Now it makes more sense. And then he says this was taken with a macro lens and then focus stacked with 38 images. How small is this mushroom? I do not understand, but it was shot on a tripod at 1/13 of a second, f5.6, 38 different focal plane shots. That just seems like overkill to me, but
and there's
what do I
still
know?
A lot of the stump that's out of focus. Like it's...
Well, every time that I have tried to focus stack something, it has not worked automatically. I've used software that's supposed to do it. It doesn't work for me. And then I have to go in manually and I'm like painting it in and I can never do that good of a job. So maybe that's what happened here. Are you ready to rate this?
I am, but I'm struggling with
Let him have it. 3, 2, 1.
I'm going to go 3.
I'm going harder. I don't love it.
I think this is fairly well done for what it is, but like I always struggle, what sort of portfolio is this for? This feels like one of those DeviantArt, like...
You're going to be saying that forever. Like, is DeviantArt still a thing?
No,
this
but
is like
I don't
from
know,
30 years ago.
I don't know a better way to describe it. It's just like this artsy, weird, like far in the pits of the internet community. I'm like, I just don't know like who would be buying this and what sort of portfolio. I mean, there's probably huge portfolios of mushrooms, but like, I don't know what art buyer is looking at that and what client is like, I need to hire you to do that, especially not with AI. But it's probably pretty good for that genre of photography. I just struggled to know like what you're doing with this. All right, so here is another one where these two images are actually by the same photographer. So I just feel like This image here just feels very snapshotty and kind of boring to me. But the one that I've included, I feel like, man, if you wanted to hire somebody to take a portrait of your dog and you saw this picture in their portfolio, this is a great image. Like, I really like the way that this looks and everything. Is it world class or anything? We'll discuss that. But compared to the two that he submitted, I just feel like the maybe this one here would benefit from your reverse selection tool and changing the colors and, you know, the exposure and all of that. But it was just interesting to see two images that I feel like if you look at them side by side, there's a lot to critique and compare the two images with.
So I have actually taken a decent amount of dog photos. I don't know why. Maybe he said he was testing his lenses with these.
They're the best subject matter to test a lens with.
They're very eager subjects. They're free. I feel like the images of the dogs themselves look good in both of these shots. I think my problem with both of these, especially this one, is the dead grass. You know, like if you're gonna shoot down on a dog like this, and you know it's on perfectly beautiful grass, then I think it would look great. Or you're on a cool mountain trail with rocks and stuff, I think it looks cool. But when it's just gray, dying grass, it doesn't feel like a professional shot to me. Even though the
I keep
depth of
wanting
field does.
this lens lower.
Exactly.
You know, and that would minimize the ground, but also and that's what this shot did.
Right.
I mean, look how low the camera is. It makes the dog feel bigger, and it makes the background more blurry and interesting and more colors.
Yeah, I definitely prefer this one with the stick. I think the background's a lot more interesting. He mentioned in his comment that he feels like he's kind of breaking the rules by putting the dead space to the right side of the dog rather than the left, maybe because the dog is looking camera left. But
he's kind of leaping into that dead space.
Maybe. I don't know if I feel strongly about it. It's okay. It's okay.
How do you think this is lit? You think that's just natural light?
I was trying to figure that out too. Like something about both of these images feel a little stroby to me. And I don't know if that's been done in post to brighten up the dog a little bit or a strobe was added, but he doesn't mention it.
Yeah, it's like that highlight on the lip. Just something about it makes it feels like the light source is smaller.
And you can also see all these like dots in the dog's eye there. Like one of them could be a strobe, but maybe it's just through the leaves.
Yeah.
Ready to rate? Which one are we rating? The stick one?
Yeah, this one here.
3, 2, 1.
It's a solid 3 to me.
3. Yeah, you know, like you got to watch out with putting stuff like this in a professional photography portfolio. If you're not a dog photographer, I think the genre kind of makes you look like an amateur. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, you can't put this next to something else that you know you're trying to get client work from.
Right.
Because it just feels like, he's just out there in his backyard.
Right.
But if you shoot dogs or have a dog website like this, a pet website, this I feel like belongs in there. I don't know what's going on with this image, but this feels like a pet image, but it's not, and it's...
So, yeah, I saw this image right when we opened all of these up, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? This certainly looks incredible, but is this real? What's going on?
In the wild dog animal world, our foxes are so cute, but do they carry lots of diseases and they're vicious and they're going to attack you? Or because everybody wants this as a pet, but you can't have this as a pet, right?
Well, you can. I actually looked into it years ago. You can get domesticated foxes as a pet.
Yeah.
They're very expensive. I think they might be from Russia. And I did research because I was like, I'm going to get a fox. That's awesome. And everybody was like, you do not want this. They are such a pain in the ass. I think they stink really bad. They might like roll in their own pee or something. Like they're not good pets.
And they probably like shred your furniture and like
they're incredibly energetic. And they're like, I've watched videos of people with these as pets and they're like running across the house, like, tearing up furniture and stuff. So instead, I got these 2 hairless cats that are also horrible pets. They're kind of like disgusting animals.
They roll in their pee?
I think so. This one, I caught her peeing in, like there's this spot in my house where I guess it's just one is peeing in the house. I've trained them to go outside 99% of the time, but one of them will pee behind this plant. And I caught her in the act. And when I grabbed her, she's peeing on tile. And it was like going on her tail. And I'm like, this is why you stink. what is going on? And I throw her outside. And so I'm like, what's wrong with this animal? It's like it's not a real...
Domesticated.
Yeah, it would never exist in nature. Humans have created these hybrid creatures. So yeah, at the moment, I cannot recommend a fox or a hairless cat.
Are you saying the hairless cat in nature wouldn't also pee on itself? Like maybe it's trying to exist in nature.
I thought cats
were super
they
particular.
like going into like grass or dirt where their pee and poop will like be immediately absorbed because cats are supposed to be clean animals. But these hairless cats are very much more like dogs than they are cats.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like all the bad attributes of dogs, that's how they are. And then all the good attributes of dogs of like being happy and fun to enjoy seeing you, they don't have that. So anyway, I just read this description. This is real. So this is a real fox in this dude's yard, and he is really shooting through lavender in his yard. Unbelievable. I was wondering if the fox was real and then maybe he added the purple blur. But no, he says this is shot with a 28 to 70 f2 lens, took it through a gap in the lavender. I can't believe it. And something about this feels very lit as well. Like obviously the sun is coming from behind the fox. We're having that beautiful halo, but then there's just so much lighting on the front of the fox. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this is fairly heavily recovered in post. I'm gonna guess that this fox was way darker than this, and the purple lavender was also, and then he raised it in post, which is fine. I'm doing the same thing with.
I really like the amount of bokeh here. And I guess it's because does he say it was shot at 70? But that's the furthest it could have been shot, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, like again, I go back to some of these other images where like the background is just like a wall of like color that's so blurred you can't make anything out of it. Like I like the detail that you have here. And it makes me wonder if the fox is looking at the photographer or is the fox just sitting and admiring the flowers?
I mean, that fox looks like his eyes are locked on, but the little cock of the head makes it look like a friendly stare, you know?
Yeah, it's a cute
not like
image.
I'm about to come kill you.
Yeah, I really like this image.
Are you ready to rate it?
I am.
3, 2, 1.
This might be my favorite image of this.
Well,
critique so
certainly
far.
it's my favorite image of the critique. I'm just wondering, should I give it 5 stars?
Oh, 5. You're going to go that far.
I don't know. I mean, I'm in between a 4 and a 5. I think it's fantastic. I love it. I mean,
is there a part of you that feels like the whole exposure, and you're saying it's heavily processed, but do you feel like it could have just a little more? Or do you like where it's falling? It's falling in this...
it feels a little dark to you.
A little. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
I
if
could
you
agree
were
with
to
that.
enter it into the final photo contest or
agree.
like print it on a billboard or
Yes,
something,
yes.
you could give it a little more punch. But I kind of like that it's muted too. Like I'm torn.
You know, so much of it, like I've been printing a bunch of my nature photos here, or my wife has, and I'll get it looking good on my uncalibrated monitor, and then you print it out and you're like, it looks a little dark. And I'm the same thing. I've got these Samsung frame TVs that become like picture frames.
Yeah.
And I'll get it to where I'm really happy with the way that it looks on my computer, and then I put it on the frame TV and I'm like, it just needs more contrast. And luckily with the TV, I just edit it and re-upload it. But it's like a totally different experience when you actually see it in print framed versus on a backlit screen.
Yeah.
Next.
So this is one of the top images.
So as somebody who has literally just been photographing birds, dive bombing the water and pulling out little fish just like this, and I assume this bird's very small. I was shooting little birds like this, and I was shooting with 600, 800 millimeters. Maybe I also tried a little bit at 1200 millimeters. The birds are so fast. You know, you'll see them on a tree and they're like looking, and then without any notice, they just come down, hit the water, and then they go back up in another tree. And so even if you're sitting there ready, the depth of field, I mean, you can see the depth of field here is like 1 millimeter, right? So it's not like, just focus on where they're dive bombing the water. No, they dive bomb within feet, and you have to be within a millimeter. And then just tracking them from the tree into hitting the water, it's almost impossible. So I was able to do it, but way zoomed back from this. I mean, this is unbelievably close here. So
Do you think this has been cropped?
I have to imagine, but let me read and let's see.
So I've been using a few of the lenses that you had. I had a 50 to 200, which is a 200 to 400 millimeter equivalent micro 4/3 lens. I just released this video yesterday. And I've been using the Sigma 300 to 600 f4 lens. And I have never really shot with lenses that big. And I've learned that like I kind of hate that genre. Like I hate carrying this lens out and trying to focus, and like all the stuff you just described is not a pleasant experience to me. It's tiring, it's heavy, it's really hot here in Puerto Rico, and the results are always less than ideal. Like this is unbelievable. My shots never came even close to this. Trying to track and focus, and like it's just discouraging. And so I see why when you pull it off and you get good at it, I can see the value in that, and I can see why you get excited for a shot like this that I probably didn't appreciate as much a couple weeks ago.
Right.
But I've also learned that it's just like you seem to be loving it. You're going out and doing it, and you're like falling in love with this thing. And I'm like, man, this is just not the genre for me. Like I don't enjoy. And maybe it's because it's like if you are learning anything at the beginning, you're gonna suck at it. Right?
Oh yeah, the first few days I'm taking pictures of turtles. You know,
but
it's like horrible.
I need something to where like it sparks that interest where like you get up on the wakeboard or on the skis or you learn the first guitar lick, whatever it is. Like I need that moment where I'm like, I'm now gonna be obsessed with this.
Well,
I have not really. I'm kind of always going out there and I'm like, yeah, I mean.
I think it just comes down to like getting an incredibly beautiful shot that you've only ever seen in like magazines or something. And then you have like an empty space on your wall like I do. And you're like, wow, I would actually be happy to print this. That is the spark of excitement that I needed to be like into wildlife photography. The problem is now that whole wall is filled with pictures. So I'm good. I don't really need any more.
When I compare it to landscapes, I feel like I enjoy the process of like having a drink or just enjoying the sunset and the nature. And it's such an overwhelming experience. But then when I get home, even with the greatest photo, even with Elias photos, like some of the best landscape photos I see on the internet, I'm always kind of like, do I really want this on my wall?
Yeah.
But at least I can go back and love the experience I had taking the photo. Mm-hmm. With wildlife, I don't know. For me, I'm not having either one of those. I'm like kind of annoyed being out there. And then even the greatest photo, like this one, do I want this on my wall? It's kind of like the landscape. I'm like, maybe I don't really want this on my wall. I don't know. That's my bias into this genre, but obviously a lot of people love it. So I can't, say that I'm right in this situation.
Well, I've read his explanation of how he did this, and it appears that he did shoot this on a tripod. He says he shot with the Nikon Z9, the 200 millimeter f2. I think he's shooting at f2.8, and he was shooting with a wired remote. And the only reason I could think you would have a wired remote is if you are not changing the composition of the camera. So you're just sitting there waiting for these birds to dive bomb. And this was happening at a pond very close to my house. And I could go out there every evening, and at the same time, they would dive bomb just like this bird. The problem that I was having was, like I said, they would dive bomb in a different place every single time. So I would have to be like ready, and I would maybe only get 1 out of every 10 dive bombs. But then out of that 10% that I was capturing, was I zoomed in enough for it to even look like more than a little speck?
Yeah.
So he says that he cropped in here, but even still, there's enough detail that I don't know how wide his original shot is. I'll show you some shots here that I took that are uncropped, but this is still beautiful. Lighting looks great. He said it was done with natural light. Almost looks like direct flash, like maybe the sun is coming from behind the photographer or something.
What do you think is more important? I just shot with a camera that can do 50 or 120 frames per second, but the resolution's only 20 megapixels. Do you think having a camera that could be like 80 megapixels but shooting at like 5 frames a second and gives you all the ability to crop in and maybe even like have a bigger frame to where you could focus longer and like get the shot?
Right.
Or having something to where you can get like the peak, because this is probably happening at so short of a moment that, do you think this could be captured in 5 or 10 frames a second?
I do. I think when I was shooting the birds, I think I was shooting at 15 frames per second, and then I'd get back to the computer and I'm like, this is so many, like thousands and thousands of pictures to go through to find one.
But 15 you felt like was
enough.
Oh, really? See,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
shooting I don't know the frame rate I was shooting at because I've learned that the Sony camera doesn't allow the third-party lenses to utilize the true capability of that camera. I thought I was shooting at 10 frames per second, but I'm going through tennis players and I'm like, I can't get the ball on the racket. And I don't know that that's the shot that I want. Maybe you want the ball off the racket, but I didn't have that option.
Oh, okay.
And so when I'm shooting at 50 frames per second, like you said, I'm like, this is too much, man. I'm just going by like every little movement, you know? But I could imagine with a bird, that would be more of a necessity than with a racquetball player, you know? Like, it's not moving that fast, you know, but the bird is.
Yes. I guess what I found when I was shooting these birds, like, and I shot little birds like this one. I also shot big birds like pelicans dive bombing the water. And the dive bomb itself doesn't usually look very good. They kind of look super goofy and weird. It seems like you want, like what this bird's doing, it's picked up the fish and it's coming out and water is spraying everywhere. That's the money shot. And so I felt like
that's the slowest motion through that whole process.
It's slower. And I also, for me, I didn't feel like any of my pictures were so good and so tight that, oh man, I wish I had a millisecond before, a millisecond after. Like every picture kind of looked the same.
But the resolution you could use. You feel always use more resolution.
Yeah, well, that's what was funny. I was doing a lot of these tests with the Sony A9 III, which is like their top of the line sports camera, which has the most insane autofocus, and I think it's only 24 megapixels. And then I was like, let me try it with my A7 IV, which is way cheaper, a little bit more resolution. It's not supposed to have as good of autofocus. I felt like the pictures looked better. It had better ISO performance, more megapixels, and the autofocus was great. It was good enough. So yeah, maybe resolution is more important for this type of work than I thought.
Yeah. Okay, we need to rate this.
3, 2, 1, 4 stars.
I agree. This is
excellent. There is, I remember this picture, I think from this bird, another photographer took years ago, and he said he'd been working on it for years, and he created this like laser system, and it was one of these birds, and its nose was just touching the water. You remember this? It was like a big deal. Yeah. It was on all the photo blogs like 15 years ago or something, and he used speed lights and everything. I would say that is a world-class image. This one's still amazing, but I can't go world-class.
It's interesting though, like that image you just described, it's the difference between, you know, making an image and capturing an image. You know, like you've gone out and you've captured this. Nothing wrong with capturing images, but there's a whole other side of photography. The production side and the commercial side where, you know, some people look at an image of a celebrity and they're like, I don't get it. It's simple. But then you're like, but you have them in pink and the set's pink and everything's like got this vibe. That's what you're paying for. It's not the actual art of pushing the button or directing a celebrity to do some stupid pose. It's like you've created an image versus, you know, just capturing something naturally.
Final image. Oh no, 2 more images. Second to last image.
Dude, how did they get this bokeh?
I know, this looks so fake.
It looks insane.
And it was shot at f4.5. What is going on?
This has to be shot at like an insanely long focal length, right?
No, he says shot with a 50 to 140 millimeter lens. Yeah, at 98 millimeters. I'm so confused by how this is possible. He's closer to these people than you would think.
Yeah, and because of that, you're focusing so close that it's allowing the background to go even blurrier. Like
those it looks ridiculous though. It's just not making sense to me.
It's Nancy, so it's her. She did this.
Nancy Good Enough is her last name. I like it. It just looks fake to me.
My dad was a dentist, and one of his friends in Alaska was Dr. Toothacher. If your last name's Toothacher,
that's real.
You have to become a dentist. Yeah, it's real.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild? So Nancy Good Enough. I mean, that applies to a lot of. She could pretty much do anything.
That's true.
You know, it works. But there is this unfortunate like. I keep going to her chin. She's got like the Jay Leno.
I didn't notice that until you said it.
I just want to like push it in a little.
Yeah, a little.
And I don't know that that'd be cheating because it's one of those things where like maybe her chin looks normal, but at this one angle, she's starting to look like a witch. You know, she just needs a broomstick or something. What do you think's going on with the highlights on the chair where the person's in complete silhouette, but then there's this one weird little angle of light that's hitting the metal?
I know. The longer I look at this, I'm like, what is going on?
None of the chains have any of that highlight on them, but the back of the chair does.
You could expect the chains to be a matte, though, and the chair to be
Shiny or
reflective.
something.
Yeah, but yeah, I just keep looking at this going, we're being pranked right now. Like, they have taken a blurry picture of
the
Christmas
Christmas
tree
tree
lights,
lights, yep.
and they just photoshopped it behind pictures of these two people. I don't know. All right, are you ready to rate it? 3, 2, 1.
Man, I don't know.
I don't know either. It's good. I'm giving it 3 stars. I don't really know what you do with this, and the bokeh is so over the top. I mean, the bokeh balls are huge. The color's crazy. The detail in the bokeh is weird. You know, like it looks like little cells from, you know, a microscope or something. I don't know.
What's
There's so
strange
much
is like
weird
they've
about
told
this.
us the lens of this. It's shot on a Fuji system. But doesn't the bokeh and everything look like some super old, cheap, like vintage lens?
Well,
like this doesn't look like modern bokeh.
Right,
It
right.
looks like a microscope or some.
Right.
There's some weird element going on here to where that's not the way that a lens should look on a modern camera.
I know. I don't know what's happening here. You've stumped us, Nancy, good enough.
And does do you want the whole exposure a little brighter? Like, if you make this small, is it a little hard to read, or is this all correct?
I don't know. It's a weird picture.
Is it good enough?
It's good enough. Let's move on. Final image.
So this image, I just checked to make sure that they had written enough to be included, but I didn't read how this was taken. But this looks underwater or something, right? This is like some kind of sea urchin.
That would be my best guess, but man, I don't have the slightest idea.
I can never get sharp, well-lit images underwater. I failed at it over and over and over again, but maybe I could get dreamy, blurry images like this if this is in fact shot underwater. But then it also has some kind of weird like spider webbing up here on the right. So I don't know if this is like a dusty aloe vera plant or something.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the perfect image to end on because Bianca, says that this is a photo of a plant called Jack Go to Bed at Noon.
Dude, you gotta Google that. Like, what?
Is that a thing?
Jack go to bed at noon?
Yes, that is a plant. Jack Go to Bed at Noon is a plant. What in the world? And this was taken with a Lens Baby twist with an extension tube and a Lens Baby Omni. I don't even... Okay, the twist goes first, extension tube, then the Omni. And then in the upper right, or on the right side, that is a spider web.
Okay, yeah, I did notice the that up there, which made me think this can't be... I won't say it can't be underwater. Maybe stuff like this happens underwater too, but...
I would have guessed underwater. Yeah, I don't know what the heck I'm looking at there. And the reason why I say this is a great final image is because the #1 prize is a Lens Baby Velvet 28 and a Composer Pro 2 and Edge 35. So the winner's going to get both, right?
Yes. And the interesting thing with Lens Baby is when I saw that they were a sponsor a month ago, I went to their website. I don't know if the lenses that she used to take this are still available. It seems like Lens Baby's constantly like changing lenses and modifying them and offering some that are maybe not on the market anymore. So there are potentially dozens or, dozens, like 20 Lens Baby lenses ever made.
I don't know.
Do you remember do you remember when Lens Baby came out?
I think I do.
Probably around we started Fstoppers.
Okay.
It was just like a plastic thing on it kind of looked like the Composer 2, but it had a different...
well, I remember
lens on
one, you would literally just push it with your finger. Yeah, it was like, I think it was fixed focus, and you would just push with your finger and it would change the field of focus.
But it gives you these really dreamy, strange effects that, on one hand, like I don't know that I'd ever want to rely on that lens all the time for a super important shoot. Like I knew people that would try to use these for weddings, and I just felt like, man, you really have to be like taking the gamble.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
But it's one of those things where like you can't reproduce this look at all with a normal lens that doesn't pivot or twist.
Sure.
Even a tilt shift lens would probably give you a very clean precise, sharp image, where this has a totally different feel to it.
Are you ready to rate it?
What kind of portfolio? This is like fine art?
Yeah,
or
I
something?
feel like fine art, like in this type of thing, I could definitely print this out.
Yeah, okay.
I like the vibe of this.
Like between a 3 and a 4.
I'm in between a 3 and a 4 too. I don't know.
I think you're right.
Maybe I'm going 4. I'm going 4. I like
This
it.
would just look so good in like a really girly bathroom or
Yeah,
something. Like
yeah.
it has this vibe where it gives you a vibe. It gives you a mood. I love all of this up here, but it also feels a little like creepy. So there's an element of it to where I'm like, I don't know if you put this in like your kid's room or your favorite bathroom.
It's a little spidery. All right, guys, we have deliberated. We have our winners. Third place, we're gonna give it to Bianca, who took this image right here. You win a free tutorial from fstoppers.com/store. Send me, Lee Morris, a private message on Fstoppers. Let me know which tutorial you want. Second place, and the winner of another tutorial.
Is the Kingfish? Is that what this is called?
Yeah, The Kingfish by Corne van Oosterhout. Incredible shot, unbelievable detail.
By far the most technically challenging shot, I think.
I would assume, or at least the most patience.
Yep.
And first place, we are both blown away by this fox by Felix Bellin. Now, I think Felix has won other contests, but you win again, Felix. And you are going to win both Lens Baby lenses, the Velvet 28 and the Composer Pro 2, plus the Edge 35. Send me a private message, Lee Morris, on fstoppers.com, and let me know your address, and we will get that out to you. If you would like to be a part of the next critique, it starts right now. Once again, it's totally free to join. The winner is going to get that new Tamron lens. Fstoppers.
Colors? Is that what we're doing?
Colors, yeah. So beautiful colors, interesting colors. That's really what we want to see in these images. And usually we've been doing a big sale on one tutorial on the Fstopper store for each one of these contests. We're going to hold off, and we're probably going to do a really big sale on a bunch of tutorials for Black Friday coming up at the end of November. So stay tuned for that. And once again, fstoppers.com/contest, fstoppers.com/store. See you soon.